Good morning. It is day 18 of POEMVEMBER 2022, where we're writing a poem a day in this month. And today's poet inspirers, there's two, are William Carlos Williams and Janet Jennerjohn. Janet Jennerjohn. So today I'll be reading This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams, and then Janet Jennerjohn's title of her poem is For the Banana Which Sat on Top of My Fridge for a Week, which is a poem written after This Is Just to Say. So we'll talk about pastiching or responding to poems with your own poems. But before we do that with our prompts today, I will share my screen. This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. And here's Janet's. This is a poem published on little cards by Eat Local and Read Local in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they're passed out at different restaurants. So it's a really great way to get bite-sized poetry in your diet. So this is called For the Banana Which Sat on Top of My Fridge for a Week by Janet Jennerjohn. My roommate left me a note that looked like this: eat this, with the banana lounging on the other side of the arrow. It was a good lounging banana, almost completely brown, speckled to the tips of each of its poles. The yellow which lingered below seemed to have succumbed rather nicely to the onset of age spots. It did not protest much when I tore back its leathered spine and ate the softness as instructed. In this month, I wanted to do at least one pastiche or an example of a poem written after another poem. So I thought this was the perfect example of both a pastiche, as in using the syntax or the structure or the ideas of a pretty famous poem and writing your own poem. But also Janet Jennerjohn is not just using the construction or the components and rewriting or writing her own poem. She's also responding to the core message of This Is Just to Say, I believe. And This Is Just to Say, I see that there's someone who took something from a loved one, maybe not even that close of a person, but someone that they had been in the kitchen of at least. And they aren't necessarily asking for forgiveness. They're explaining why they just had to have those plums. And then Janet Jennerjohn is writing as the speaker was given permission explicitly before eating a fruit, a banana, and then describing how that experience was to the person who gave them permission. So I thought that was an interesting, it felt more like it was in conversation with This Is Just to Say, rather than simply pastiching the poem. So I thought that was really interesting. And let's jump into the prompts. Prompt number 1. I'd like you to take notes on how Jennerjohn's poem responds to Williams' poem. And ask yourself, in which ways does it follow the form, tone, or syntax of This Is Just to Say? For this prompt, I ask you to write your own pastiche or response to This Is Just to Say, William Carlos Williams' poem, and have your poem be in conversation with that poem, either mimicking the poem by honoring it in syntax, or by responding to it as if you are tilting the ideas of This Is Just to Say on its head with your own experience. Prompt number 2 is find a poem of your own that you've been inspired by lately, and read the poem a few times and make notes so that you can see 4 to 5 components. This could be as simple as diction that's used. So maybe it's a poem about a specific discourse community or group of people, and make note of the diction that signals that it's for that group of people. Maybe you're making note of the musicality of the language, the construction of the thoughts. Maybe the thought is one full image. Or maybe you're seeing that the lines are a certain length and what that does in the poem. So whatever it is, take 4 to 5 notes for finding the components of that poem. And then I'd like you to follow these components as closely as you can by drafting a new poem. It may support your writing to find a poem that is particularly well known or that you have read many times. Prompt number 3 is to write a poem about someone else's kitchen where you ate a fruit of theirs. This could be with or without their permission. And the sub-prompt for this is tell us about your concepts of permission and forgiveness. And then I have a revision prompt. So take a previously written poem or piece of writing and revise it to resemble a poem that you've been inspired by. I challenge you to select a poem that feels very, very different from your typical style of writing, and then see if there's new pathways or surprises that happen when you choose a poem that feels very different from yours and trying to pastiche it or revise one of your poems in that style, tone, whatever it is. Okay, that's day 18. Thank you for sticking with us. If you would like to help get this channel, this video out to more writers, please like and subscribe the video so that more people can see it. And if you want to join our Discord group, we're open armed, and we like are having a great time sharing our poems that we're writing every day or links to other poems that we're really inspired by. So please don't be shy and message me for that link. What else? Did I say what else? I am KP Kajabowski. I'm a poet and a filmmaker, and I'm the guide of the Labyrinth, which is a growing research library for writers. That's everything, right? Oh, tomorrow we'll be talking about prompts off of one of Lydia Davis's poems. Okay, bye. Have a very good day.